G'day there, Terence, founder of Strategic Business Growth and creator of Building Profit. I put together a quick crash course for builders and trades business owners looking to get more profit, faster growth and more control over their business. There's three things that we're going to work on today. Let me just kind of run through what they are quickly and then we'll get straight into it. The first piece is acquire. How consistently are you able to attract leads and get those people to put up their hand and say, hey, I want to work with you. The next piece is monetize. It's great to have lots of leads, but how well are you converting those into paying clients? And then how well are you converting those projects into profitability for your business? The third piece is systemize. Do you have the systems and the processes in place so that you don't have to do everything yourself and so that some of those systems can actually run without you? There are 9 key strategies that we utilize to build a more profitable and sustainable building or trades business. 9 key strategies is not a crash course. So what we're going to do today is just focus on one key strategy, which is this one. It's called create clients. And this is all about taking a prospect, someone who's interested in what you have to offer in your service, from curious through to committed through to contracted. One of the major things that we need to look at is your relationship to your business. And when I say that, there are a couple of different things to consider. The first thing is you'll need to put energy into growing your business. But that energy can either be personal exertion or the energy can be driven by what we call business power. In other words, some things in the business being taken care of by someone other than just you. And on the other side of things, we can look at focus. And you can either choose to build a product-driven business, one that focuses on just the products, or you can choose to build a promise-driven business. So when I work with builders and trades business owners, they're generally in one of 4 different categories. They're either in the category of being a job owner, where their business relies on personal exertion and they're very product-driven. They're on the tools and they're a job owner, okay? And when they move up into utilizing some form of business power, if they still have a product-driven focus, okay, if they still want to remain on the tools for as long as possible, sure, they're utilizing some business power, but they seem to be still juggling balls. If we move into a promise-driven focus, but still really trying to do it all ourselves, still trying to do everything, then sure, we're an opportunity owner, but we're just going to be continuously working hard and not really feeling like we're getting anywhere. And utilizing this promise-driven approach, so it's not just all about the product they're providing, it's about what that product means to their clients. And being an asset owner is all about creating both business and personal wealth. So the first question you might have is, what is an asset? And there are probably lots of definitions of asset out there. But for the purposes of what we're talking about today, if we look at an asset, it needs 3 main things. The first thing it needs is leverageability. It needs the ability for you to utilize leverage. If you think about when you go and buy a home or you go and buy an investment property, for instance, and you have a deposit and you utilize finance, and over time you see a return on that investment, you're utilizing leverage because you're utilizing whichever money you've got as a deposit, but you're also utilizing the finance to leverage the deposit you've got, which means your return on investment over time is higher than it would be if you just invested the deposit that you had. The next piece is profitability. Now, of course, it makes sense that if you've got an asset or if you're running a building or a trades business, it needs to be profitable. However, at what level are you profitable and how are you actually measuring the profitability? Are you running at a 15% margin, a 20%, 25%, 30 or a 40% margin in your business? And the third piece is really salability. And when I say salability, the instant response that I get from lots of builders and trades is, I don't want to sell my business. And that's totally fine. One thing I've learned from working with several mentors over the years is the business that you can sell is also the business that you might want to keep. So having a sellable asset doesn't necessarily mean you have to sell it. It does mean you can choose to sell it if you want to, and it increases the value of that asset to you. And again, once you put all those 3 things together, what you have is an asset that contributes to your wealth. So when we look at building and trades-based businesses, generally see them in one of four different positions. Okay, the first position is just plain stuck. This is where profit is negative, control is very sloppy, and growth is really stagnant. And really they're still operating as a result of luck more than anything. And there's this line that sits above being stuck called the fear and ignorance line. And the myth is here that it's all about the outside market. It's all about what's happening to your business. But the truth is that it's really all about you. And once you cross this fear and ignorance line, you get into the moving stage. At the moving stage, profit becomes incremental. Control starts to improve and growth becomes resuscitated. And this is really as a result of some sort of sales strength starting to enter the business. From there, we move into the controlling stage. And controlling, profit becomes much more predictable. Control becomes much more stable, and growth becomes much more consistent and much more measurable. And really, this is a sign of business strength really starting to enter the business. And just above the controlling phase, there's a line called the good enough line. And when we start to reach the good enough line, one of the things that I hear often is, okay, this is good enough. I'm happy with my business as it is. And the truth really is that okay traps you. Just saying it's good enough where it is kind of traps you. And where we really want to get to is the winning phase. And when we're winning, profit becomes much more effortless. Discipline becomes controlled and growth becomes exponential. And this is really as a result of gaining strategic momentum. Today, I'm going to share with you a system that's been developed specifically for builders and trades business owners to help them to take more of those people who are interested or curious in what they have to offer and take them through to being committed and then into contracted into doing a project for them. There are three key things that a really effective sales system needs to be able to do for you. The first piece is really to qualify your clients. The second piece is to quantify what it is that you're actually doing to give some sort of an estimate, to get some sort of an idea of exactly what's going to be involved. And the last piece is to run the quote. Now I'm just going to go a little bit deeper into the qualification process because this is a mistake that I see often that costs builders and tradies a lot of time and money. We have a tool called the 5-star filter, which was developed to help you to attract and qualify more of the right clients that you want to do work with and to repel the wrong clients, maybe with the wrong projects, or maybe it's the wrong time for them to be working with you. So let's look a little bit closer at what a 5-star client really looks like. The first thing we want to look at is the priority. So is this a later thing for them or is it a sooner thing? Is it a later thing that's 2 years down the track and really you should be talking about this in 12 or 18 months time? Is it a sooner thing? Is it something they want to look at getting started on immediately or in the next 3 months? And when we look at that, are you able to help them in the time frame that they're really looking for help in? Then we look at their resources. In other words, do they have non-existent resources? Do they already have some sort of funding in place to be able to fund the project? Do they have the budget available to them to be able to go through with the project that they're looking at going through with? Or do they have sufficient funding and sufficient finance available if they need it? And then we look at their motivation. And as I'm sure you'll know, there are some people who are price motivated and some people who are value motivated. Now, of course, it's our job to position the value to that person for the project that we're looking at delivering for them. However, there are some people who are always focused on price. So are you dealing with someone who's purely motivated by price and just wants the cheapest price? Or are you dealing with someone who's motivated more by value? Now, of course, if you're supplying a really inexpensive, entry level, cheaper type of product, then price motivation is quite fine. However, if you're a custom builder or if you're someone who prides themselves on doing the best work and making sure that someone gets the best service, then maybe you'll want to work with people who are focused more on value than just on price. Then we look at expectations, and really there's either unreasonable expectations or realistic expectations. In other words, when we're going through any project, you'll get an idea very quickly of whether someone has realistic expectations of timelines, budgets, their expectations of you, their expectations of your team, the expectations of the people they're already working with. So are they unreasonable expectations or are they realistic? Because the level of expectations are unlikely to change throughout the project. Of course, the requirements of the project might change, but their level of expectations are likely to stay the same. And finally, we're going to look at terms. We're going to look at the terms of payment. We're going to look at the terms of the pricing structure. Is it win-win or is it win-lose? In other words, are both of you going to win out of this transaction? Are you going to be able to make sufficient profit from the job to be able to make it worthwhile? Or is your prospect really just looking to get the absolute best price and as much value out of you as they can without being willing to pay for that? When we look at the conversion flow, we're really taking someone through a process. And to begin with, what you'll have is curiosity. And the qualification piece is really about confirming their compatibility. At the quantify stage, you really want to be installing confidence in that person that you're the right person to be working with. At the quote stage, it's really about them being certain that you're the right person, because at the end of the day, they're about to move into the commitment stage and start signing contracts. Now let's talk about a little bit about what we need to be focused on during this entire process. During the curiosity stage, it's all about symptoms. It's all about a problem that needs to be solved. Generally, someone will come to you and say, hey, I've got this thing that needs to be done. It's either a problem that needs to be solved or it's an opportunity that they're looking to expand on. At the qualify stage, we're focusing on suitability. In other words, is this a great project for us to be working on together? The quantify stage is really focusing on, do we have the systems and processes in place to be able to carry out this job? Do we have everything available to us that we actually need? And the quote stage is all about being able to provide the right solution to them at the right time. And when we do all that properly, we get success. There's one little piece that we don't often talk about that a sales system really needs to have if you want to be able to create more value. I was on a call with some great clients, Adam and Karen, last night, and we were just speaking about value. We had a conversation about how sometimes it's difficult to get our clients to focus on value. And the reality is that it's our job to get our clients to focus on value. It's not their job to focus on value. And if they are focused on price, is that because we're only talking about the price? So you'll notice in the conversion flow, there's a piece called the stretch. And the stretch is about the fact that there is already a gap between where your prospect is right now and where they want to be. And it's tension that gets us to stop focusing so much on the price and start focusing on where the value is. It's tension that makes something a little bit more urgent for us. Now, the reality is that when I look at the sales processes of most builders and trades business owners, it's missing this piece. And it's really important to understand that when we're missing the stretch, it's much more likely that our clients or our prospects are going to be focused on price rather than the value that you can really create for them by helping them with their project. So I just want to talk to you about a great client of mine by the name of Tim. Actually spoke with him a couple of weeks ago and we did a little bit of a case study about how his business is going since we started implementing a few things together. Tim's a custom home builder and specializes in renovating or building custom homes. One of the main things that Tim's implemented into his business is this conversion flow selling system. And what it's actually allowed him to do is qualify his prospects so that now he's actually doing a lot less estimates and a lot less quotes and spending a lot less time with those people he shouldn't have been working with in the first place, which has now freed up a lot of time for him to start working with the people he should be working with. And that's now allowed him to even start charging for quotes. So once someone goes through the qualify and then the quantify stage, to get to the quote stage, which is a proposal in his case, he actually charges for that proposal before they go ahead with the job, with the contract stage. So in the past 12 months, Tim's managed to triple his business. Not only that, he's managed to increase his cash flow by almost 20 times. And at the same time, he significantly increased his profit margins. So he's now running a much, much more profitable business. Now, creating clients is just one of the 9 core strategies that we actually work with through the Building Profit program. Then we look at design success. How clear is your market opportunity strategy as a key driver of your future business success? Install influence. How effectively is your marketing attracting the ideal clients that you should be working with while pushing away the people that you shouldn't be? Catalyze action. How predictably and consistently do you move prospects from curious to committed whilst compelling them to act with urgency and certainty? Enhance experience. How deliberately have you designed your client experience to deliver value, promote referrals, and keep them coming back for more? And then we've got leverage activity. How intentionally has your operating environment been designed to enable you to focus on the highest impact activities that will quickly move your business from where it is now to where you want it to be? And then we've got things like install an operating system and transform team and create cadence. So I just want to get a little bit real for a moment. Back in 2006, I'd been operating businesses for around about 10 years. And some of those businesses I'd actually done quite well with, but it really took a toll on my personal life. 2006 was the year that I officially got divorced. It was also the year that I almost went totally bankrupt. And it was also the year that I went and bought a new business. And I realized that there really had to be a better way for me to be doing things. Now, 2006 wasn't a great time to be buying a new business. Certainly wasn't a great time to be getting a divorce. I don't know if there ever is a great time for that. However, the business that I bought in 2006 grew through the GFC. And when I sold that business about 9 years later, it was valued at almost $1 million. I'm not telling you this to brag. I am telling you this because I know there's a better way. And I know that by changing our attitudes and by changing our approach to our business, we can really change the results and the outcomes that we get from our business. So if you're looking to make a change to the way that you approach your business, and if you're looking to make a change to the results and the outcomes that you're currently getting from your business, right now I'm looking for 10 builders and trades business owners to join us in the Building Profit program. So if that's you, click on the button below or to the side or wherever that is and get on a call with us or send us a message and let's start a conversation and see where that leads. I hope this crash course has been really helpful for you, and I hope it's encouraged you to start making some changes and start making some shifts in your business and in your personal life. Thanks for spending this time with me. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.